Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. And with that, let's hit the new game and see what's what in the first case of in the first game of the trilogy. So, yes, play this game. That's exactly right. And to avoid spoilers, I'm gonna switch the scene for just a hot second in between here, so get ready. So do this. Here we go. Gasp, gasp. Damn it, why me? I can't get caught. Not like this. I've got to find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. Ooh. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. And a quick point, I cannot really do voices, so I want to play this because I'm passionate about it, but I can't do voices, so it's like it's better if I just read the stuff as more or less my normal voice, and hopefully we'll just manage to get through the stuff without voice acting talent, because that's not a thing I can really do. So let's do this. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. Whew, am I glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. Sure thing. It's over. My life, everything, it's all over. Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death, despair, ah! I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna die! It sounds like he wants to die. Good observation there, Mia. Yes. Yeah. Nick! So that is Mr. Butts. Great, good. Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Ah, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? The person responsible for your girlfriend's death. The newspapers say it was you. Huh. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts, my best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. Right. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. If you say so. That, and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm going to do. Yeah, that is the go attitude, yes. August 3rd, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The, defense is ready, Your Honor. Ahem. Mr. Wright. This is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I'm a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Yeah, about that. I don't think that's gonna... Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Gulp. Hands shaking, eyesight fading. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. It's not Phoenix Wright nor Mia Fey, it is Larry Butts, who we just met, who is quite the character, it seems. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? I don't think it's been mentioned yet. I know this one. Glad I read the case report covered so many times. RB court record. Thank you. Cindy. Cindy something. Okay. Well, now we know. And the other stuff is attorney's badge. No one would believe I was a defense attorney if I didn't carry this. Cool. And at time of death is 7/31, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Cause of death, loss of blood due to blunt trauma. Cool. Ah, Cindy Stone. There we are. Cindy Stone. Now we know. It's... wait. Uh-oh. No way. I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. I'm not... I deduced it through the power of detective reasoning. That's what it is, right? Yes. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Oh, of course I know the victim's name. I just forgot temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press the right bumper to... Just press the right bumper to check it at any time, okay? It's always fun when the games give the actual buttons in the dialogue, like our boss Mia Fey. Hey, press the right bumper. It's always fun, but you know that's with the times. I mean, the first version of this game I think came out in what 2001 on the Game Boy Advance or Color? Advance, I think. Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please, I'm begging you. Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case? I know, it's Cindy Stone. And not Mia Fey nor Cinderblock. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Haha, correct. Now, tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was, blunt force trauma. Yes, hit with a blunt object. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. Cool. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor, because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then. First, a question for the prosecution, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was the statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. Statue. A statue in the shape of the Thinker is rather heavy. Statue added to the court record. Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Well, that and my finger of objection, yes. Use the right bumper to check the court record frequently. Cool. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh, Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me, ever. What's to you anyway? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies, all of it, lies. I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. Passport. The victim apparently arrived home from Paris on 7:30 the day before the murder. Indeed. She appears to have returned the day before the murder. Dude, no way. The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude! We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right? I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I stop him from answering? Sure. My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Oof. Wince. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Sure. Let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is so not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Gulp. Well, did you or did you not? Huh? Haha, well, maybe I did and maybe I didn't. Uh-oh, he went. What do I do? Okay, I am not sure what's the correct answer here, but I've got a feeling that it's not gonna matter. Or at least there's not gonna be a huge penalty for, choosing the wrong thing here. So let's just see. Give us a second here. Have him answer honestly. Stop him from answering. For the sake of argument, let's stop him from answering. I'll send him a signal. Lie like a dog. Well, see, it's like this. I don't remember. You don't remember? Well then, we'll just have to remind you. I got a bad feeling about this. We have a witness that can prove he did go to the victim's apartment that day. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? The man who found the victim's body. Just before making the gruesome discovery, he saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawit to the stand. I see what you did there with the name, yes. Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscriptions. Is this correct? Oh, yes, newspapers, yes. Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. Witness testimony. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving. Dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. Even though it's in the apartment where you didn't go into. I went into a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly, it was 1 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? Well, I mean, I told him to lie, though. So I can't defend you against testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Blackout record. Electricity to Miss Stone's building was out from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. Yep, that fits. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes, yes, Your Honor. You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor? Alright, Wright, this is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court record with the right bumper, then point out contradictions in the testimony. Cool. So this is the meat and the potatoes of the game in the courtroom, at least. I realized something. Give me a second. There we go. I was blocking the life bar, if you will. I was going door to door selling okay, so there's the same stuff all over again, right? So let's see what we can do here. So first thing, I can press or present. So let's press the I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside, because that seems a bit... Hold it! So you didn't touch anything in the apartment? Yes, I mean, no, nothing. That doesn't go. Okay, what happened next? He's super lying. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. The other thing was the... Let's see here. There was this one. Because strictly speaking, I don't have the phone in the court record. So I can't at this point prove that he went in the apartment, I suppose. But I can say that the time isn't right, because, let's see here. Time of death was 4 to 5 and not 1. Press button. Objection! You found the body at 1 p.m., you're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at some time after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? Huh? Oh, that. Oh, Objection! This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Saw It. Why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one and their whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? Okay, witness testimony, the time of discovery. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a tape program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. However, there's a point of the blackout, right? It was from noon to 6, so no, there was no TV on. So, no. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a tape program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right? You know what to do. I've got this one. I do, because I think I know what and where to do here. Okay. Bit more. I guess the whisk... That's... I mean, here, electricity blackout. Objection! Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of discovery, and this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Well done. Gah! The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Saw It? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Ah! Wait, I remember now! Mr. Sawet. The court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught. Ah, my apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sawet. Let's hear a testimony once more, please. Hearing the time. Actually, I didn't hear the time, I saw it. Uh-huh. There was a table clock in the apartment. Wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. You saw a clock. I guess that would explain it, but it's a statue. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. So I'm just gonna assume it's there, murder weapon. Present statue. Objection! Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now how is this supposed to be a clock? What? You with your objections and your evidence, just... Who do you think you are? I'm Phoenix Wright. Just answer the question, Mr. Sawet. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne. As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Interesting. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with this testimony now? Yes. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Good point. Yet, the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Also true. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment, yes. You're lying! You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah? Prove it! Prove I went in there! I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with a clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawet. The sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. Objection! What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Grar. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never... Look, the clock, I heard, no, I mean I saw, grar. Shut up, I hate you. Well, that escalated. It was him, I tell you, I saw him. He killed her and he should burn, give him death. Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. there isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I'd better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Sawat heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply examine batteries, ask the neighbors, or try sounding the clock. Out of these, I'm gonna guess it probably try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker after all. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. Ack. As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sawat heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawat, try to talk your way out of this one. Ha! Ha ha! You forgot one thing. Uh-oh, what's he talking about now? While it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. I think I have a case regardless? But, let's, He's right. How am I going to prove that? Well, I don't think you have to, because, like, we already know that he knew that the statue was a clock, and in order to do that, he needed to touch the statue, or at least see someone else touch it while he was, like, in there. That's, Damn it, I was so close. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. I caught him lying like 3 times. Come on now. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sawat. I come all the way down here to testify, and look at what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all the slime. Yes. Grrr, I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Not so fast, Mr. Sawat. Mia, I mean Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Or outside the box, but sure. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason, and you'll have your proof. Right. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? No. I'm thinking, and I'm drawing up a whole bunch of nothing. Because let's just see here. We have attorney's badge, Cindy's autopsy report. Doesn't really tell me anything. Statue in the shape of the Tinker is rather heavy. The victim was apparently arrived home from Paris on 7:30 the day before the murder. Or the blackout record. Okay, why would it be... Okay. I remember beating this case, and this is like the one spot where I thought the game made a bit of a logic mistake, because there's no way to know this stuff. There's no way. This one. Okay, but no, I don't. How am I supposed to know that? I know you can figure it out. There must be some evidence in the court record. Something that can show why that clock was 3 hours slow. Find it and he won't have a foot to stand on. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor? You say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Do you have evidence to prove this? As far as I care, no. This is it, all or nothing. Yes, Your Honor. I wanted to say no, but apparently you're not listening, Phoenix. I believe I have the evidence that can prove my claim. Haha, I like to see that. Let's see this evidence that proves the clock was running slow. Okay, there's 5 options. It's probably safe to say that it cannot be the attorney's badge, because that's not really yeah. But here's the thing. I remember going through this, and I remember this one specific thing of why it is slow, and I think that reason is bullshit, because the reason the game gives is because of the fact that she was traveling, right? Well, that's not a good proof, because it just doesn't even... It doesn't sort of prove anything about, like, why would it be slow? Like, there's no reason to think that she took the statue with her, and more importantly, why exactly 3 hours? So she went to Paris, so I'm just saying, we have not established at any point in where in the world we are now. And I believe even according to the wikis of the game, it's even to this day a little bit too, you know, vague. It's like this sort of imaginary combination of Japan and America, and neither of them really apply, even though at some points the characters refer to Phoenix as "you Americans," but then again, the court system is very Japanese, or a combination of Japanese and American in this game. And for example, in the according to like the areas we go about later in the game, the areas do look kinda Japanesey as well. It's like, it's not a real place we're in, really. It's a combination of different things. So assuming, just pulling out of your brain and assume the time difference between Ace Attorney Land and Paris is... there's no way to do that. And that's why this is a really, really, really bad logic leap here. This is like just a mistake on the game, and I don't... and the game has a few of these. I really enjoy the game. I'm a big fan. But every time this thing happens, I'm gonna call it out, because this is a horrible, horrible, horrible puzzle part. Because the solution makes no sense. Because we don't know where we are in relation to Paris. So, take that. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. No, we don't! How was I supposed to know to pull the passport, because I have no clue about the time difference between here and Paris, between Ace Attorney Landia and Paris. And that's a bad puzzle. When it's 4 PM here, it's 1 AM the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. So, in the time zone system, you're thinking of Japan as opposed to France then, I think. Even though later on in the game, Phoenix and people are, a few times they are called Americans. So, see? That is... no. This is a really, really bad puzzle. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. proof enough for you, Mr. Saw It? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? Ha 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 ha. Ng. Ah. Victory, maybe. Or order, order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness? He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I have to say I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly and find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, Yay! Awesome! And with that, this court is adjourned. It turns out that Frank Solid was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when the people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Solid let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Solid grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find Oh dear. August 3rd, 2:32 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Phew, I still can't believe we won. Right, good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over! Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Ah, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no. I mean, bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Windy's gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was a... Never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Thanks, I really owe you one. I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat. Oh, no I couldn't. Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to cry? Sob. Larry. Are you so sure? Squeeze me? I think she thought quite a lot of you, in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me, it's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right, right? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him. Huh? Oh yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? Well, I mean, she held on to the statue, so that's like my guess here. So statue because it's, you know, important to her and stuff. Take that! Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry, and she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Fair point. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me? We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? And so my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us unless you count the clock he gave Mia." I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident, and my promise to tell Chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. The end. There we are. Yep, sure, save progress. There we go. And I believe this one will now be of the next case. So basically, I'm gonna do that on a separate time from this. But I do hope you've enjoyed this, and indeed, if you have, please do drop a like or a comment on the YouTubes, and drop a follow on Twitch, because it would really help, and subscribe and all that stuff. And I do hope I'll see you again next time. I will probably keep doing at least the first game. Hopefully, we'll see. It'll maybe not exactly a tomorrow or such, or maybe I won't be doing these like all back to back here, but I hope I'll get to do the entire first game at least, because I really like these games. I do. I have some issues with a couple of points here and there, but big picture, I do. But indeed, I do hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll hopefully see you again next time.